Hello everyone. Welcome to Tarot by Cecilia on Patreon. This is your tarot guidance for the full moon in Scorpio occurring on May 10th, 2017. This video is an example of the 15 to 20 special tarot guidances available through Tarot by Cecilia on Patreon each month. I am releasing this one to the general public for this extremely important full moon so you can hear what is on my creator page. Patreon is a fan funding service which allows people to support their favorite creators. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check me out. First, let's talk about what this full moon means for you and how it may impact you. At this time, Aries, you may see issues coming up regarding intimacy, relationships, or shared finances, namely other people's money. A full moon in this area often brings a large outlay of cash for which you may not have been totally prepared. Whoa, Taurus. Be ready for that much-needed one-on-one conversation with an important partner in your life. The time has arrived to sit down and talk things over face-to-face, whether it be in marriage or in business. No special effects required here, just honesty will do the job. Gemini. The Scorpio full moon may ask you to take a good look at yourself and see how you can become a better version of you with regard to health and fitness. You may actually have that aha, cold turkey moment which can get the ball rolling and set you off on a healthier lifestyle path. Fun and family may be on your agenda at this full moon, Cancer, especially regarding your children. Romantic and sexual relationships are in the forefront right now, more specifically if you are interested in starting or adding to your family. You may find the timing to be right to help your endeavor. Leo, it is possible you will see something come up during this full moon in Scorpio around a home or family-related matter. You will need to keep the peace and handle whatever arises without tipping the drama scale to the extreme. Right now does not appear to be all fun and games for you, Virgo. It seems that right now you need to get down to business and clear up that to-do list or perhaps a pile of paperwork on your desk so that when the timing is right, you can get back out there and have a guilt-free good time. Libra, now is a good time to be reviewing financial matters. It is possible something is just not right or not to your liking and needs fixing. Finances which you share with another may come into focus now and with positive results. It is your time for the spotlight, Scorpio, but how you handle it truly depends on your overall emotional well-being. Do try to avoid the pitfalls of attention-seeking, and if indeed you are feeling a tad too emotional, a timeout may very well be necessary. Sagittarius, do your best right now to just chill. Take time out for spirituality, meditation, and maybe even a nature walk. Alone time will serve you well right now. Join a group of like-minded individuals at this full moon, Capricorn. Social activities are beckoning you right now, and it is a good time to come together with others in the name of doing good. This is definitely a tribe vibe, and you will notice your inclusion in more circles than during the previous full moon. Aquarius, now is the time to step up, step out, and to be seen. Much like the figure depicted in the Six of Wands, you can find yourself earning the spotlight and praise of your peers at this full moon. Cue a little Born to be Wild by Steppenwolf, Pisces, and get ready to get out on the highway. Your gears are revving to go, and you are definitely in need of an adventure. Interestingly enough, you have not abandoned your hopes and dreams by any means. You still can have those romantic fantasies about the life that you desire. And I really, really like this, okay? We've talked for months about that new identity that's emerging, that's forming. It'll pretty much be here by September, October, and you haven't quite been able to see clearly what that is and how to go about doing it. So that's on your mind at this full moon, okay? And we have said many, many times, I keep discussing the date, May 22nd. Many of you just keep wanting to get to that comfortable place where you can regain your power and put the little dregs of issues that have, come about over the last 5 years to rest once and for all. There's just that little bit of stuff. And some of it is even with the present and where you're headed, because you've been trying to figure out, like, you kind of know what you want to do, but you're just not sure how to go about doing it. And that's what's coming up in these next 2 weeks with this full moon. You are being guided, and the light is getting brighter day by day. The clarity is definitely coming in. And with the intensity of a full moon in Scorpio, you also have that power to wield where you can sever things that need to be severed. Okay? So you can have some absolute breakthroughs now and figure that in about 2 weeks, you're really moving forward, by the time the new moon has rolled around. So this is a very important time frame for you right now. Now, we all know that everything comes in cycles, especially when it comes to astrology and the universe. And, the tarot helps show these cycles. Now, one of the cycles besides the moon cycle that is occurring right now is that for the next 18 months, we will be featuring Leo and Aquarius, respectively, in the north and south nodes, where it has been up until the date of the full moon, previously Virgo and Pisces. So that's a big shift change as well. And that one will be available for you on another video on Patreon, a very lengthy video regarding this 18-month time frame. And it will be available at the $5 plus patron level. So what I'm seeing here is that, with these happenings in the universe, with each passing day, your hope for the future becomes brighter, and your patience with the universe, I think it's still hanging in there, okay? Because you're realizing that, I don't care what you want to call it, the promised land, whatever, you realize it's in sight and it's coming, and that things are starting to move. So, you have a great deal of patience and also clarity here, all right? Because this is an organizational time of life for you. The Scorpio moon wants you to dig deep, not just have patience, but be strong and seek the truth. Scorpio loves to ferret out the truth. And these truths that you uncover can help you manifest really important things and move forward. And, I think from this point, what we're going to be talking about is the steps that you're taking between now and the total solar eclipse in Leo on August 21st. It's such an important time in your upcoming future. And pay attention to communications at the moment with this full moon, because at the time of the full moon, Mercury will still be in the sign of Aries, but it is moving forward more and more each day from its retrograde. However, it is still in shadow period. Okay, keep that in mind. So, you're looking at your communications. There's a lot that's being discussed at this time. All right. Now, keep in mind also that come the 15th, which is only 5 days from the full moon, you're still going to be probably feeling the full moon to some extent. And Mercury will then re-enter Taurus, where that conversation will slow down a little bit and not really put the brakes on, but have you looking at where you're going, okay? Because at this point in time, you're so ready. You really, truly are. Now, for many of you, there has been, I want to say, a change in demeanor, where things for you have balanced out emotionally. And that really, truly depends also how you handle full moons. Every time we have a new moon, a full moon, we have this discussion about that remaining balanced and remaining calm. Because what I see here is that for some of you, you just can't control it, and it's going to erupt. All right. And that's why full moons are so famous for being full moons and things just going crazy. All right. Because some people do not try to maintain that balance in their emotion. All right. Now, for those of you who can, to keep the peace, that's a very good thing. As far as your position, that's about to change. You've been kind of like staying in one spot for a while, waiting for that path to open up. Okay. And that's what it's about to do. Make sure that you are I want to say well informed, that you have learned everything that you need to learn about the possible choices that are coming your way. Because, it's like there's a whole world out there and you have to figure out a direction. All right. You've wanted to go somewhere for a really, really long time. But you know how it is sometimes when you wait and you wait and you wait, and then all of a sudden your opportunity comes up and it's like you've been on the couch doing nothing and you're not ready. Be ready. I think many of you pretty much are ready, but the time is coming, okay? You're going to need the necessary people around you to help you accomplish whatever it is you set out to do. Here again, we're talking about, and this is probably by the time Mercury has re-entered Taurus, okay, that taking your time with things, with the plan. It really has to be worked out in stages. So if you're gaining some clarity at this full moon and you're moving away from some things and letting some things go, which is also here, like there's something major that many of you are like, phew, okay, and this is wonderful. It's a good thing. So it's not bad. It's not something that you mourn. It allows you to work out details, okay? And the funny thing is that while you're working out the details, there were those disappointments we've talked about the last 5 years for I don't know how long. And what the universe wants to bring you is balance, because what you have been seeking in your life is for life to be fair, okay? And when is that happening? 3 months from now. More so, you'll feel it where I think you're feeling more light and carefree about it in September, okay? Even though August, we have the eclipses, but I think more so at the harvest moon in September, which occurs on September the 6th. So this is never this is what's going on at this full moon. This is how it's all playing out in a time span and the things that are occurring. Now, I mentioned the cycle of the nodes, and they will be in Leo and Aquarius through November of 2016. Excuse me, that's 2018. And what I want to say here is that, as you've worked on getting past all of those hard times, you're going to truly feel by that eclipse in August that you have moved on from all of the difficulties, and it's an amazing time for you. You come to appreciate the synchronicity of the universe and the different cycles that are involved. Okay, so we have the cycles of the moon, we have the cycles of the nodes, we have the cycles of eclipses. There's many things that are happening. Of course, we also talk about Jupiter and Saturn being big players this year as things switch later in the year with them as well. So there's a lot that's going on. This isn't a done deal in a day, in other words. And we've said this many, many times. Now, what you're looking for is a fresh start. And that's what's coming. There's a lot of motion coming over the next 3 months. And I've said it repeatedly, it begins this month. Whatever you manage to let go of with this full moon, you are just so ready to create some rock solid stability. I think you've been over the status quo. How many times? Trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. With each passing day, you have more clarity. And this full moon is really going to help you with that. So it brings success. Now, there's been a lot of discussion as well over that feeling when the sun moves on into Gemini. There's something going on there where it just feels brighter and the success starts to come in and you start to see the phases that you're going through. And truly, I know that there are going to be people out there who are still struggling with things, but this, where we're at this moment is one of those times when you say, the only thing that can stop you is you. Don't allow yourself to self-doubt, to worry, to, build fear over, especially over all of the wrong things. Remain grounded, remain down to earth. This is one of those things where you can have all of the abundance if you just take your time with it, because it's going to begin now, this month, where it is just moving right along. And I really think that you're realizing this somewhere between now and the new moon in Gemini, which is coming up, and that will be on the 25th. Okay, so there is a lot that's happening here. Control. What has been out of control in your life? Where is it that you need to step up and take charge? It's not that you haven't tried. It's that you haven't been able to find the right combination, the right people. Whatever's been going on, it just seems as though it has been eluding you. And that's where the clarity's coming in, in these coming days here, following the full moon. And if you have finally mastered the art of go with the flow, okay, being able to multitask, because you have a lot going on, all right? The past is pretty much in the past, and there's not a whole lot left there to do. But there's been a few things that are hanging out there that you just want to see done once and for all, okay? So that you can have that grand new beginning. Like back in the beginning of this reading, we discussed your new identity. And in order to have this whole new identity, it really means getting rid of some of these other issues that have been surrounding you. It's like there's been something, that's still hanging over your head. So this full moon is going to help you with that. And the time, like you may discover now where you can get the help or the right people and all. I think the success with it comes more so next month. But now maybe you can finally put that plan into action, okay? Because you have a vision for change. And I don't know how many times I've said this, but you really need about 3 months to get it all going and, prepare for what's coming and get the right people in your corner. Whereas before everything felt like a struggle, now it'll start to feel like if it's right, if you're doing the right thing and making the right choices, you're not going to feel that frustration anymore. You're going to start to feel the cooperation. Now, as far as the new beginnings, you have, every time, stood back up again. You are separating from something at this. That's me tapping the cards, people. You are separating from something at this full moon, okay? And it's interesting because it involves choices, and it may very well involve relationships, and looking at the reality of the relationships that are in your life. How do you make your wishes come true? Well, we've talked about relationships forever and ever, and how when we stop and we recognize the patterns in our choices, what do I always say? When you keep on doing what you're doing, you keep on getting what you're getting. So you should finally be at that point where you've come to the realization why things keep turning out the way they do. Every time you get into a new relationship, etc., whether it be a love relationship or a job, anything like that, and why does this always happen? You look at your choices. You look at what you chose. What were the criteria involved in that choice? And when you see the pattern and you can break that pattern, which is what it appears you're finally able to do now, is to separate from that pattern, separate from a bad relationship, and really begin the manifestation of what you want in your life. What will make you feel secure? What will make you happy? And where do you wish to be rewarded? So you've gained so much ground even in the last couple years, even though it was a struggle. You really have. But in the last few months, you've been trying and trying. And the one thing is that you've gotten to that point where you're not giving an inch. And I give you credit for that. You don't want to go backward. So when it comes to understanding this new identity and what is happening at this full moon, you know where you've been and you're never going there again. So keep that in mind as you prepare to move forward over the next 3 months. And I'll see you here again real soon. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Take care.